Hi, and welcome to my channel. My name is Justine, and I'm currently doing the preschool curriculum by Memoria Press with my 3-year-old daughter. This video is to kind of recap how our week went. We just finished up week 5, so day 20 of school, and I do not do the curriculum the way it's written. I do a lot of it the way it's written, but there's some things that I do differently. Alright, so in the curriculum, it starts off with prayer. I do not follow the same prayer schedule that they have. So I've been focusing on a morning offering that I wanted my daughter to learn. And after that, we move on to the Pledge of Allegiance. Next in the curriculum is calendar, and I do calendar. I do a little bit more than what they have. So they want you to focus on what day is today and what the weather will be like. So we talk about the month, the day, the days of the week, the season, and the weather. And surprisingly today, she actually knew that the season was fall. So I wasn't sure how long it would take her to kind of learn that. She's gotten the hang of, it's summer, so I was surprised today when I was like, what's the season? And she said fall. Alright, so then we move on to recitation. So Memoria Press has a list of recitation, and it's good, but I do it a little bit differently. Let me see if I can find it. So their recitation and memory work. And so some of it I do differently just because, like, later on, there's nursery rhymes that they have to learn. And instead of, like, if you look at week 21, I don't know if you can see it, there's actually a lot of material for them in that week. So I spaced out all the nursery rhymes. So we spent about 2 weeks on a nursery rhyme. She usually has it mastered by the end of the first week. And then I have other things that I like to ask her, like what her full name is, what her birthday is, what's my name, what's her father's name, what's her address is the one we're working on right now. So that seems to be going really well. Alright, and then we move on to our read aloud. Now this week for read alouds, it was a little bit different because usually you have 1 book a week, but this week it's 4 books. It's all the books that you've previously done. Now on their lesson plans, they have all 4 books in one day. So instead, I separated them out and did 1 book a day. So the first day of the week, we did Jesus Is With Me. Then we did The Best Mouse Cookie on Tuesday. Wednesday, we did The Very Busy Spider. And on Thursday, today, we did Big Red Barn. So, put those over there. Alright, and then if you watch some of my other videos, you'll know that I have like this basket system over here. So I do green, red, and blue. Every day we do those baskets, and then we do 1 brown basket a day. So the top is day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. Alright, so for the green basket, we worked on letters X, B, and Y. And usually on the first day of letters, I do the sandpaper letters, and I have a little box filled with salt that she also traces the letter with her finger in. So I actually put that away since she didn't need it today. And I will say that with handwriting, there was some confusion for her with last week, the letter X. I spent 2 days on that. This week, she struggled a little bit with B. We spent 2 days on it. And I'd rather spend extra time with her and have it really have her master writing those letters versus just moving on to the next letter. now for red, this has been a funny one because if you watch my last video, I think I may have mentioned taking a break from math. My daughter doesn't seem that interested. And so what happened was, I figured that what we could do is still the flashcards. She doesn't give me a hard time with the flashcards. It was always the little Montessori activities. So I put together a basket for her, and it just had, I don't even know if I put that in there, it just had the flashcards. And she was really upset. Well, not really upset, but she was kind of wondering and starting to question, where's her activity? And I said, I thought you wanted a break from math. And she and her 3-year-old self was like, no. And so I pulled out the activity and she did it without a problem. So the same thing happened on Tuesday. I decided not to put the activity in there. And she began to question, where is it? And so I got it out and she did the activity without a problem. So on Wednesday I put it in there and she did not want to do it. And so I come to realize that maybe it's better for me not to put it in there and let her ask for it, and she seems more receptive to doing the activity. So right now what we've been focusing on is I'm putting 3 little wooden number tiles in this little box, and I'll have to see if I can get a picture for you. I'm not sure if I have one. We'll put it out on her mat, and then she counts the beads, and we'll match it up with the number. So she's done numbers 1 through 6. So right now 7, 8, 9. And I haven't decided once she can fully master counting the beads, because that's what it is. She can count to those numbers, but it's counting the objects that she's struggling with. And so after that, I wanted to start going to the teens board. I'm going to see, I guess I'll give it a try, but I'm not 100% sure that she's quite ready for that. So I'll have to kind of do my own research and see where I want to take her with math. So that's math. That's what we've been doing. All right, and this is kind of our phonics basket. Now, to start off with, we always review our letters, and these are all lowercase letters. And then this week, she's been working on these cards, and I've learned something today. And she's done similar cards with word endings, word family endings. And she didn't have a problem. But, oops, I broke that. I noticed today that the problem, I think, is that this time I have 9 cards compared to 6. And so I found when I took 3 away, she didn't have a problem doing the assignment. But when it was 9 cards, I feel like she felt overwhelmed. So in the future, I will probably limit how many I give to her at one time. So what she had were these little clothespins. And so they have like little endings here. So I'm not sure if you can see these well. This one's app, ip, and it. And so we would look at the card, and it's a hip, and she would decide which ending does it need. Now, the first few days, she kind of struggled some with this, but I'm not sure now if it was more because there were so many cards where she was just randomly guessing. But today she didn't have a problem doing this at all, so I'm going to move on to doing like reading CVC words for the letters that we have really focused on. So like this next card is sit. And she would just click on the ending. Alright, so that's what we've been doing. So next week I plan on working on reading with her. Alright, and the other thing we've been working on is, what is this? Explode the Code. Now I'm laminating these. I think it worked out for me because there's some things where I can tell her the directions, but you know, she's a 3-year-old and I probably need to be a little bit more specific than just what the directions are. It said, look carefully at the letter in the box. Circle the letters that match it. So we did, and she actually went through, and I think I had to step away for a second. So I was like, she should be fine. When I came back, she had circled all the C's on this page. So then, you know, being able to erase it, it kind of worked out because then she could redo it. And so basically I'm going with these until she's either struggling, she doesn't do the page correctly on her own, or I feel like she's just tired of doing them. So I think today she did about 2.5 pages. So, and I'm not doing them in order, I'm doing them by the letters that I am teaching in that order. Okay, so the brown baskets, I'm going to go through, I kind of linked those to the books that we did, and I brought back the old activities. So if you've watched my videos, the first week I did a color sorting activity where she had all these fruits and vegetables and all these buckets. My parents got them for us one year for a birthday gift. They all have a color, and she sorted all the vegetables and fruit by color. Alright, and so then Tuesday, to go along with the Best Mouse cookie, we did, these are little mice, and they have the entire alphabet on them, and then and it's uppercase letters, she matched up lowercase letters to the mice. And for those of you who haven't watched my videos, I just want to point out that these activities are some that I found online. They're free, and so if you're interested in some of those activities, go ahead and click on some of my past videos, and in those descriptions we'll have all the links to get the activities. Alright, so then Wednesday we did the very busy spider. She worked on her cutting skills, so every third day of the week we worked on cutting. So this is what she has done so far. So I don't know, I guess I didn't teach 3-year-olds, but I'm thinking this is probably in line with where they should be. And then in the basket, it's just yarn with little spiders to be like a spider web, and she could just cut the yarn, and she's big into cutting, so this was really fun for her. Okay. Alright, and for today we brought back to go along with the Big Red Barn. This is a number fence, so, and you match up popsicles with the numbers. And so I had 1 through 10 on this side and 1 through 20. We did 1 through 10 because 1 through 20, I think it gets overwhelming for her with that amount, but she did fine with 1 through 10. I was really surprised. Okay. Alright, so after those things, we move on to gross motor skills. And in the curriculum, they do it a little bit differently. I just focus on the gross motor skills that I did and when I worked on each book. So when Jesus was with me, there was a little poem that you could act out. And so that's what we did on Monday. On Tuesday, when the story was the best mouse cookie, for that week, if you go back to week 2 in the curriculum, it talked about writing on toys. So that's what we did. Alright, and then when we read The Very Busy Spider that week, week 3, if you went back in the curriculum, it was walk on all fours like each animal in the book and make animal sounds. That's what we did. Alright, and then today we focused on the Big Red Barn. So we focused on the gross motor skills for that week, which was gallop like the horse, run like the piglet, waddle like the geese, and there's a couple others. And then we worked on enrichment. So enrichment, I went back to what I did those weeks because the enrichment here says review from previous weeks. So I stayed true to the one book that we did instead of everything at once. So the first week was a coloring page. And I think I skipped that because I have found that she doesn't really enjoy coloring when it's forced coloring. So I think I kind of gave her a break. Let's see. Oh, Tuesday, when it was the best mouse cookie, that she played with Play-Doh and pretended to make cookies. And that's in the curriculum. Alright, Wednesday, for the Very Busy Spider, we did the story retelling. And we had all the little stick characters. And again, I got these free off the internet. And if you go back to my week 3 video, I believe I have a link in the description where you can get these. And then today, what we did was, these are little cards, and what she had to do was go and clip the one that's different. And some of these are very obviously different. And then there's some that, you know, are a little bit like, oh, which one is different? There we go. So, and this is in week 4. There's a large file on there for a website that I got like a number of activities from for last week. I think it was on Teachers Pay Teachers. Alright, and so for religion, we worked on, let's see. We've been doing one lesson from Little Acts of Grace. This week we worked on holy water. And my daughter is already a big fan. Like when we go to Mass, she has to get holy water. And so we practice using holy water. And then we worked on the story of Babel. And I was hoping that I would be able to do like what I did for Noah's Ark and get out pieces of like having Noah and the animals and kind of backing out the story. But I couldn't find any clip art for the Tower of Babel, so this week I just read it, and she didn't do too badly just sitting there listening, so that was good. The next story is Abraham, so maybe I'll be able to find some clip art for him. Alright, and we ended our day with the songs that I did from the other weeks and our guardian angel prayer, and that was our week.